Yeah, no, so you should check out me calling in later on before I got home, man. Right? Right. I'm alive on my end right now, folks.
Yeah, I'm generally alive every day. Well,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Give me a minute here. I got some news. Glenn Tipton, if you want to look up this article, Glenn
Yeah, I'm
Tipton
gonna. Yeah, I
actually
was gonna
spoke.
say we gotta definitely look into that, man. I gotta,
Never speak.
man, boy, he gonna fire some. He went after a KK Downing for a good one there. He had a lot to say about him there. Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna do this on my phone because you know how my computer is gets real slow whenever I use my Skype and OBS there. Right there. I know why it does that. I need to get my other old computer fixed and get that there. Blah 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 and all that good jazz there. Oh, so Art, did you ever see me call in on YR show at the hot topic there?
no, I need to do that, I guess.
Yeah, you got it. It's
Yeah,
pretty interesting there. I
don't listen to people when you're on show. They're making you do dumb shit in public. Like, don't listen to
know,
them.
I know.
You know,
Well,
they're
well,
not there. They're not the one in the situation. Like, I hate that shit.
I know. But do you know how Vikings is? He's been lonely for a long time. I guess he's tired of listening to Tony and jerking off
No,
there.
but you see
So,
how like, now imagine like I know Art can understand like an innocent girl working in a mall store. You did nothing wrong, Earl, but like
I
just
know.
randomly
Yeah,
saying, from a guy, oh, like you have a phone number or something, and like she has to say she's married, like that's kind of uncomfortable for her. So
I
like
know. Yeah,
Vikings was wrong on that. Vikings was
yeah,
wrong.
yeah, yeah. He's in
Let
my
her
chat
work.
right
She's at
now.
work,
I will. I know. I'm going to do that. Well, you can't say. Well, you got to say it was good content there. Yeah. I plan on calling Ken when he gets when if he's live on Saturday. We go back for numbers there because I'll be there this Saturday after work. Okay, so here's the article right now. I'm reading this from GuitarWorld.com here, and Glenn Tipton, the guitarist from Judas Priest, has been firing back at former guitarist K.K. Downing, saying, "quote unquote," his accusations have gotten sillier and sillier, and I deserve to respond. Now, following Downing's departure from the priesthood in 2011, his relationship with the band has been, least to say, not that good in recent years. When the guitarist quit prior to the band's Epitaph World Tour of 2011 and 2012, which at the time was conceived as their farewell tour, he cited an ongoing breakdown in working relationships between himself, elements of the band, and management for some time, given given away little in the way of further details at the time of his departure. Now, in 2018, Donnie released an autobiography called Heavy Duty Days and Nights in Judas Priest, in which he delved further into the reasons behind his departure, noting his relationship with co guitarist Glenn Tipton as a major contributing factor. Downey said, in quote unquote, "I never found Glenn to be particularly easy to get along with. From early on, I was fully aware of the limited conditions in which he operated. If you're going to be, if you're going to relate to him, you would do so entirely on his terms." Now, in a December 2001 interview with Guitar World, Downey noted how he never expected Judas Priest to continue following the Epitaph tour, adding, quote unquote, "they didn't want any part of me, even though I was one of the only original members." And now, in the new issue of Guitar World, Glenn Tipton himself offers his side of the story and explains why, in his view, much of what's been said of Downing is totally untrue and unfair. Tipton says, quote unquote, "I never wanted to get into a public argument after KK left. I have never said a word and I stuck to my guns for over 10 years. But comes a point where you read things and that's been said that are just that crazy." It's time to say something, really, because he's been saying things that he shouldn't be really saying. They are not fair. He institu- instigated, he said that, what's that word? Insinuated, there we go. He
Yeah.
insinuated that he was the driving force behind the band. It, it just isn't true. Priest is made up of five guys working together. There's not just one person driving the band. He said all these things that I think are meant to upset us and get us to say something in response, and for a long time we didn't. But I've got a lot to say, and enough is enough. One of the more personal jabs Downey had leveled at Tipton centered around his alcohol consumption. In the December 2021 interview, Downing claimed that Tipton's drinking before shows and in between songs was slowing us down. It made the rest of us feel insecure because it's just like you driving a car and somebody is drinking at the wheel. You just don't feel comfortable. In an interview with Guitar World, Tipton brands he claims as silly. He says everyone knows it's not true. Like I said, the fans aren't stupid. They've seen me for 50 years playing around the world. I may have had a couple beers on stage here and there, but that's all. It's never affected the concert or my performance whatsoever, and he knows it. Elsewhere in the interview, Tipton says that he used to piece Downey's leads together in the studio. He says he did a lot of editing to make Downey's lead breaks worthwhile. He says, quote unquote, I would have never talked about KK about that way. It's just that his accusations have gotten sillier and sillier.
But keep in
And
mind,
I,
real quick, I don't want to interrupt,
yep,
but we need to keep in
yep,
mind that Glenn Tipton has
Parkinson's disease.
Parkinson's disease. I get
Yeah,
that and the other one confused.
yeah,
But and so
yeah.
he doesn't
Andy
play
Sneap, yeah.
live. He doesn't play live
Well, well,
on
however, he
occasion.
does. Yeah, he does appear pops in, I guess, towards the end for one song or two there.
But he's not a full time touring. You know,
Remember, I don't know. Well, it's hard to say, At this point, it'd be nice to have Tipton on stage with the Priesthood, but alongside with Andy Sneap as well there.
yeah.
But that would make Yeah, I'm not. Um, it'll be interesting if that would happen. Priest would be a six-man unit on stage when you think about it there. But then again, we don't know how the Parkinson's is affecting his ability to play. You got to keep that in mind. Now, on with the story here. Tipton says, I would have never talked about Ken KK that way. It's just that his accusations have gotten sillier and sillier, and I deserve to respond. He left the band. We wouldn't convince him to stay. And then he accused me of taking 6 years off to write two solo records. I only did those solo records, which was in the 1990s. One of them was called Baptism of Fire, because we were inactive at the time and Rob was doing his solo things. To Fight, the band Halford. And this is before they got Tim Owens as their frontman a couple years later when he released his solo record there. In 2020, Downey revealed that he had formed a new band called KK's Priest with former members of Judas Priest, Tim Owens, who, as I mentioned, the Ripper, and former drummer Les Binks on vocals and
Which
drums.
they have a new album that came out. It's not that bad. Did you hear
Yeah, I
some of
know.
those
Yeah,
songs?
yeah. I remember you recommended to me. I did a review of it. Oh, I mean, I got this on my channel there. Yeah, pretty good stuff there. Now, in the 2021 interview, Downey said that Judas Priest had threatened him with legal action over the band's name. Remember, it was called KK's Priest, as you know.
Yeah.
Their lawyers sent a letter to my record label making threats of legal action if I went forward with the name KK's Priest. But for the moment, nothing happened. I think they made the threat, but decided not to follow through. They made the threat to stop making the band. Now, Tipton stepped back from touring in 2018 after being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease 10 years before. This is in 2008. Although he joined the band on stage during their encores at Bloodstock Open Air in August of last year. In December, Rob Halford, their frontman, confirmed that Tipton would play on the next Judas Priest album. Halford said he's still a fighter. He never lets anything stop him. He's a great force for people that are living their lives actively and productively with Parkinson's. So he's still pretty much like that No Surrender song, a heavy metal hero. Priests are scheduled to hit the road this coming let me read that. Blah. Priests are scheduled to hit the road for their 50 Heavy Metal Years tour later this year. Richie Faulkner, who suffered a heart surgery, will be back with the band this coming December, has since recovered from it. And of course, Andy Sneap, the producer and guitar player for other bands like Sabbath without the H at the end there, will be resume his duties as second guitar player.
And let me tell you something. If you look at any live, 2020, 2021 Judas Priest, Richie Faulkner, he has, the guitar sound live is spot on what you hear on the record. They play a lot of Painkiller stuff, album stuff, and he has that guitar, he has it down. He really does.
He does, yeah.
You can't beat the originators like KK and Glenn, but that back in that tour, that one that he left, KK, that was supposed to be the retirement tour. That was supposed to be.
It was their farewell tour, yes.
So.
And I guess so they decided, when they saw Black Sabbath come out with that album 13 a couple years later on, they decided, you know what? Why should we retire? We're not done yet, And
it's like Richie is, now I don't know if he's being strong armed, but Richie is being cool to where he's being outspoken to where, hey, he's like saying, hey, this is silly, guys.
It is.
People are getting, you're not, every year you get older, you don't get any younger. And I think potentially with someone in the band that is outspoken about the situation, like Richie Faulkner, the younger guy in the band, the youngest guy in the band, I think maybe potentially we'll get that. It'll probably be like the last ever tour, but we'll get that KK back in Priest, which will be great.
Yeah, it would be nice. But the thing is, KK needs to realize that he walked away from Priest. He left the group, His spot was already filled.
Well, look what, so did Halford.
Yeah, dude, that's true there,
we can't have, just like in this community, you can't have double standards like that.
And I don't think Rob Halford has been taking the shots at Priest like he did at like KK's been doing. When you think about it, sure, when the time of the breakup, a Priest took a little shots at him. Obviously, well, for a good reason. It took about 7 years for the Priesthood to get a new singer, being Tim Ripper Owens. Because, of course, Halford is that damn good of a singer when you think about it. Because I remember reading that Luciano Pavarotti gave Halford the thumbs up at one point. But, I kind of agree with Faulkner and Tipton. KK just, going off on this end, that end, this end there. It's getting silly, dude, You have a band of your own. You got Ripper in your band. Once again, you're working with him. You got a tour to do, Concentrate on that and with your beef with the Priesthood there, Maybe in time you guys will come together again, but for the meantime,
it's kind of like we're Judas. It's kind of like we're Judas Priest, right? The community, and like KK is the people that are banned, and they don't understand that we want nothing to do with them, but they keep trying to get cloud attention, all that, and basically they're like the KK Downings of the Judas Priest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he wants some. Yeah, he's trying to get some clout, and then, but unfortunately, the way he's going
I'm
about it is
honestly
not that
honestly, on that situation, it's like ultimately, like Halford probably has the most pull, so he should be like, "All right, KK, I understand, come back," because you get that announcement that KK's back in the band, those live, for the concerts and stuff, those ticket sales will skyrocket.
That's
Those
true there,
tickets,
yeah.
they'll be sold out. There'll be more interest in it for sure. So it's like, bro, why would they have nothing to lose? Like, bring the original back, the one of the founding members, and just what so I kind of put it on Halford a little bit,
Hmm.
right? Because he, like KK doesn't have any control coming in. Like Halford is the one I think saying, hey, let's not associate with that guy. Have any association with them anymore. You know what I'm saying? After
Yes.
this, listen, I have another news piece. If you want to look it up on Hart, I don't know if you
Okay.
want to dive into it. Hart got into some big disagreements backstage, like in their tour,
Really?
their last tour, like in 2019 or something.
Oh yeah.
They had this
Really?
reunion tour,
Yeah.
and they're coming out saying that they had disagreements. That's why they don't tour together now.
Um,
Together, they tour solo. Hart.
uh,
But that's a very interesting news story on Blabbermouth if you find that one. If you want
I'm
to
gonna
dive into that.
find it right now. I will do this. So right now, man, hard
So really, the two biggest
blabber.
stories for the week, I found.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna find it right now here. Okay.
And
Nancy
Art,
Wilson says a disagreement with her sister, front lady, Ann Wilson over the band lineup kept Hart off the road last year there. Now, Hart guitarist Nancy Wilson spoke to Joe Rock of Long Island's radio station there about the Who Knew band, Nancy Wilson's Hart. She is joined on stage with her longtime collaborators, drummer Ben Smith, Andy Stoller on bass, keyboard player Dan Walken, Ryan Waters, and the singer Kimberly Nicole. Regarding why she chose the name Nancy Wilson's Hart, Nancy said, Hart has had a big offer on the table last year for a bigger tour, but Anne wasn't interested in going out with my lineup of guys that we were out before. She has a new lineup of guys that she wanted me to join up with. And I sort of thought, I don't really know them, so I don't have loyalty yet
see,
for
that's
anybody
silly as
like that.
shit. Like, aren't they sisters? Like, come on.
They are sisters, blood thick and thin. They did everything together, wrote songs, toured together, laughed together, cried together when they broke up with their boyfriends.
They were lesbians together, right? Wasn't
No,
that?
no, they're not lesbians. They're involved with dudes. Nancy is, I guess, is still
No,
married to
I thought
Paul
they had
Dicker.
sex with each other. Like, wasn't
No,
that a
they never
thing?
did. No, they never did. That was all employed by one of the early record labels to sell
Uh,
records. What they did is their old record label, Mushroom Records, took out a full-page ad in Rolling Stone with one of the offshoot photos from the first record, Dreamboat Annie, we appeared almost topless there, and they said the headline, it was only our first time. Now, it meant to be like it was only our first time hitting the charts, but it was perceived in a whole different way. And it was that, there was one point, there was one guy, it was like, talking to Ann, said, how's your lover? Oh, Mike, he's doing pretty good. No, your sister. You two are lovers, aren't you? Ann
mm,
got pissed off. She walked away, and that's when she wrote down the lyrics to one of their signature songs, Barracuda.
uh,
So that's where that song came about. But they were never lesbos. I don't think that anybody would do anything like that there. That was employed by the record company Mushroom Records to sell records. Remember the three C's of the entertainment industry. Controversy creates cash. It worked for Madonna many times. It
Eric
worked for
Bishop.
Eric Bishop. Yep, exactly. I mean, remember, he has the book of the same name, and it works everywhere with movies, music, television. Remember when Roseanne Barr, fumbled with the national anthem? The ratings for her TV show went right through the roof as a result of that. If Michael Jackson would have put out a record during his trial of child molestation, that would definitely go through the roof. It probably would have sold more than Thriller did when you think about it there. controversy adds to the thing there. It also worked for the Two Live Crew and Judas Priest back in 1990. Remember, the Priest was on trial for that backmasking in
Yes.
the summer of that year. No doubt Painkiller sold a lot of albums when it came out as a result.
True.
That's true. And God knows when the news came about that Ozzy Osbourne bit that Dove's head off at that record company executive, that definitely no doubt added to the sales of his first solo record, Wizard of Oz. That album went up to number 15 of the Billboard charts. Yeah. So definitely, they were never lesbians altogether there. They were done. They're into dudes. Bottom line. So I guess the name Heart we know and love so well may not going to be together for a while. They're on the outs with one another, I guess. Because I know Ann Wilson's been doing some solo shows as of late, I guess. And now, and Nancy Wilson's Heart made their debut as a special guest for the Styx 5-show 50th anniversary engagement at the Venetian Theater in Las Vegas. The concert saw join Wilson mid-show through some Heart songs and Wilson jamming to along with some Styx classics. There are some fan film videos that are below the article here. Now, Nancy's debut solo album, You and Me, was released at this past May of last year on a label called Carry On Music. It was recorded primarily in her California home studio, working with band members and special guests remotely. Now, the Heart toured North America in the summer of 2019 after the split between the two sisters kept them estranged for 3 years. They had a falling out during Heart's 2016 tour when Ann's husband, Dean Welter, was arrested for assaulting Nancy's then 16-year-old twin sons in a backstage altercation in a gig near their hometown of Seattle. He pleaded guilty to 2 lesser assault charges to avoid jail time. Well, after completing the 2016 tour, Nancy formed a new band called Roadcastle Royal and released an album. And it featured, Liv Warfield from Prince's New Power Generation and her current guitarist, Ryan Wilson. Now, Ann will release her solo album, Fierce Blues, on a label called Silver Lining Music. Here we go.
Well, Ark, you think we'll finish up the tragedies today with the years?
We're in 2009. What do you think?
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow. That's pretty much here, yeah.
Probably 2 more, I'd think, because I'll try to speed through them.
All right, there. And after that, we got to get to the cover good and bad cover songs there. We definitely got to dig into that, man.
Yeah, I've already got a list started, and I'm figuring you two guys are concentrating more on the current, newer stuff, and I'll probably stick with a lot of the old, but I'll bring up some new stuff too.
All right, there.
Okay. First guy I got to Billy Powell, used to be with Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, that's right. He was a keyboard player.
Heart Attack.
Wow. Another for Heart Attack there.
Well, natural.
And by the way, why I was keeping tabs so you could send to Keith, and Keith had added it with the current list he has.
Mm-hmm. Doing it right now, sir.
I see there, yes.
Okay, next guy I got to Dewey Martin, played with the Buffalo Springfield.
Ah, I see.
Natural Causes. That's going to be a popular one.
All right.
Well, I say popular, but you know what I meant.
I know, yeah. But it's been popular since the list started. We think you keep that in mind there.
Next one I got is Kelly Grocott, Electric Light Orchestra, Heart Attack.
Oh, yeah. He was I think he was the bass player, I think he was.
Believe so.
Wow. Because he sang often backups with Jeff Lynne on those early songs like Mr. Blue Sky, Sweet Talking Woman.
Yeah.
And it's right now it says Jeff Lynne's ELO that's on the road right now, I guess.
Yeah. Kent Henry, Blues Image, and Steppenwolf both.
So wait, like Jeff Lynne he was always a star, or like
yeah, he pretty much was always the guy.
Yeah, he was the one who wrote all the songs that did all the producing of those albums.
Wonder why he can't just call it the original name, ELO.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. For some reason, people have a problem with that. Because you remember all the flack Tony Iommi got when he took a band of strangers and called it Black Sabbath. There was a lot of heat on them from Ozzy and Ronnie James Dio for doing that. That's a big risk when you're taking a legendary name and just taking it for your own and replacing it with all the original members with a bunch of new guys there. Yeah. I mean, like, for instance, the band Dokken. There are lots of people out there who would love, George Lynch, Jeff Pilson, and Mick Brown to rejoin Don Dokken, but Don Dokken doesn't need aggravation, especially with Lynch, even though Lynch are kind of touring together, doing some
play a couple
songs together.
Like 3 songs,
Yeah, but the thing is, Lynch and Dokken do not see eye to eye. And I think I remember during one of our episodes on this subject, they're Metalmaniacs. They had even had a dragged out fist fight in the back of a limousine over management. They do not get along. They're like, basically like dirt, personality wise, Don is like water, George is like dirt. Often at times they make mud. But musically, they come out shining gold because they came up with some massive classic songs. Just Got Lucky, In My Dreams, Dream Warriors, you name it. Breaking the Chains, all of that.
Okay, his was Alzheimer's.
Wow, that's something there.
Next guy I got's Dan Seals of England Dan.
England Dan's brother, and Seals and Crofts.
What?
No.
Yeah.
He was England Dan.
Oh, he was England Dan. Because remember, because you said, because you remember, you heard. I thought you heard. I thought, what the fuck am I talking about?
You thought he said is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, Jim Seals at first.
No, Dan Seals.
Yeah, because I got confused with the name there. That was my bad. Yeah, that's sad because Dan Seals said they'd embark on a country music career years after the two decided to call it quits there. I think it was in 1980 they decided to give it a rest.
Okay, his was mantle cell lymphomania.
Which is
lymphoma, I'm sorry.
Which is cancer related, if I'm correct.
Right. It's natural cause.
Wow.
Well, if we listed the different natural causes, we could really get into some stuff.
Wow, man. That's true there.
But we didn't want to get into that.
Somebody I never even heard of.
Ron Stallings of Huey Lewis and the News.
And what instrument was he?
He died of multiple myeloma. And I don't know what he played.
Oh, yeah, because I think one of the most other noted two other members was the drummer, Bill Gibson. No, that's not Bill Gibson. Or the guy who looked like a nerd in one way. The younger version of Bud E. Carlos, the Cheap Trick drummer. And, of course, the bass player with the shades on, a cigarette dangling from his mouth there. He was always well recognized as well there.
Yeah. Next one I got is, sorry I'm speeding. Okay. Ian Evans with Leonard Skinner and the Outlaws. Lung cancer.
Wow.
Bunch of natural causes.
Oh, yeah. That's all we've had today.
So far.
So, yeah, you would have had that. Sorry, I'm trying to hurry here.
All right, there. It's okay.
Brown, did you find a record at the mall? Did you find any?
No, I didn't. I was hoping to find me either Van Halen's Women and Children First or Fair Warning. I was hoping to find me, something obscure that I haven't had on. I was also hoping to find me, by chance, a new remixed, remastered version of Pink Floyd's Animals, because that album was supposed to be remixed pretty soon there. They did this with the Momentary Lapse of Reason not too long ago, remix, and to put on as a double album there.
Yeah, you would think they'd do with Animals.
Yeah, they were supposed to do that pretty soon there.
Sky Sex. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. But the problem is most of the stuff they got out there is something by these current artists out there. Most of them.
Sky Saxon of the Seeds.
Sky Saxon? I don't think I've heard of that dude there.
The Seeds. Heart and Kidney Failure.
Oh, wow.
Then Drake Levin of Paul Revere and the Raiders. I believe he was the drummer. Cancer.
Wow. One for the big evil C.
And that concludes the 2000s.
Okay. And so that's about it, I guess?
No, that's the 2000s. We still got technically 10 more years.
10 more years? Wow. That's something there. The first half of the 2 years, first 10 years of the 2000s, because we're still in the 2000s, just later on down the line there.
Yeah, we're fixing to get into 2010.
All right, so who we got there? Let's start off with.
I gotta get there. Wow.
Give it a while, folks.
Yeah. One, I had to get there, and two, I got to find somebody. Because a lot of these are either people I've never heard of.
I see that. That explained. Yeah, I know you mentioned that a couple times there. If it don't find anybody you don't already know about, we'll go ahead and skip that year there.
Well, I basically do that, and I skip groups that, like
you never heard of, yeah.
The Chi-Lites. I've heard of them, but
Chi-Lites?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, I wouldn't matter if you leave me now.
Oh, girl, you make me feel so good.
Okay.
All right.
Next one I got is Doug. Is that Vieger?
Doug who?
Doug Vieger. The Knack.
Doug Feiger.
Yeah, Vieger, sorry.
I didn't. Whoa. Doug Feiger died?
Yeah, cancer.
Wow, that's a trip. I never knew about this until now. That's sad because he's the brother of Jeffrey Feiger, one of Michigan's top-notch lawyers. He was the backup lawyer for Dr. Jack Kevorkian for many years throughout the 1990s there until for some reason Dr. Death decided, I'm going to go this on my own, represent myself. I'm competent. I know I can get myself not found out guilty. And it turns out he got found guilty and sent to prison for a good number of years.
Okay, next one I got is Bud Cockrell. Was a member of It's a Beautiful Day. Complications from diabetes.
Wow, that's something there.
Yeah, that's one I don't like to hear.
I know, same here. It's something I try to avoid. Type 1,
right?
Correct, yes. Some of these artists out there have type 2, by the way, there. Lemmy Kilmister was one of them.
Yeah. Alex Chilton, the Box Tops, the lead singer.
That's the guy who wrote The Letter, one of their only big hits there. And he also had a cult following us. Bunch of solo records, if I understand. He had a band called Big Star that was also a cult favorite as well.
Right.
A lot of talk about him there when you think about it.
Heart attack.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Still looking there. Yeah.
Like it says, a lot of people that... Ronnie James Dio.
Oh my goodness, that was a big shock right there for all of us. Now we already knew he had stomach cancer. It was reported as that, and apparently, for understand, he was here in Texas, seeking treatment for that. Him and his wife. When the news got out, a lot of the rock press was like in sorrow, in tears over this. Many bands paid their homage. Members of Sabbath, Dio, everyone else paid tribute to him there, and they're still paying tribute to the guy.
Yeah,
There are a
because
lot of
actually he's one of your top singers.
yeah, absolutely. Next to Rob Halford, and when you think about it, there's a project I saw. There was a video I saw of a lady named Melody. Now she's a very young girl. She's about 18 years old. She has one of the most powerful singing voices ever.
Kremlin.
You okay there, Wire?
Oh, the Kremlin. Listen.
Okay. Okay.
I was on mute and I was talking. I just fucking looked.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah.
Bret Michaels has diabetes.
That's true. Yeah, type 1 like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway,
You
back
do
to
the daily
story.
shot thing, right?
Correct, I do. Yes.
Yeah, mine's pill medication.
Well, that's just something you got to look at for this. I remember hearing about that years ago. There, when I was first got it, there was two types of medication that you take. The only pills the only pills I taken was the zinc and then my regular multivitamins each morning. That's about it. There.
Yeah, I take zinc and several vitamins, and I am on some medications because of my
Mm-hmm.
diabetes.
Yeah, I know.
Dialysis.
That's true. There. Okay.
Next one I got is Peter Quaife of the Kinks.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm still on the thing here. I gotta talk about this. Lilac is a Romanian, and it means bat, vampire bat. And it was a name of a choice from a young family rock band from Downey, California. All siblings are ages around 20 to 12. They've been out together as a band for 5 years, starting out street performing in the Santa Monica Pier, and is now touring nationwide on major stages. They recently played the gig here in Houston, Texas, and their singer Melanie, she was involved in a project featuring Vinny Appice, the drummer who played with Dio and Black Sabbath. And I saw a video of her doing the vocals for the song Country Girl, which was a Black Sabbath song for the Mob Rules album. And holy fuck, she has got one powerful voice. Without any question. Look it up. Look up Vinny Appice's Sabbath Nights. Country Girl.
I'm sorry, Earl, but
what?
It's like women's wrestling. Like women, female rock singing, it really just does nothing for me. Not really a big. I'm like a Lita Ford guy, not a big Kitty guy, not a big Lacuna Coil guy. Like women, Evanescence guy, not really into. Not against women. It's just I don't know. I feel like women rock, or bands like Kitty and Lacuna Coil with with the female singer, Evanescence. I think those are geared more towards females to listen to. Yeah,
Oh. What about a death metal? What about a Norwegian death metal band called Asagram, which is all female but performs death metal or black metal?
I don't really listen. I can't do the screaming, the over screaming thing. Like,
Yeah. I was just bringing that up because some of the rock that I think the one that's directed towards the more female, mostly bands like a Vixen there when you think about it, because it was more safer than what something that what came out later on in the 90s with bands like Kitty or in a band called Fluffy. But who knows? There's some bands out there, some girl-fronted bands out there that could just go out there and really stomp the hell out of it when it comes to singing there. So I don't know, to each his own there. I was a big on the Ann and Nancy Wilson myself. The album Baby Lestrange, that was one of my favorites from Heart. Next to Dog and Butterfly. All right. Go ahead, Art.
Next one I got is Captain Beefheart.
Oh, wow. I never knew he died.
Complications from multiple sclerosis.
Wow. Holy cow.
That's a new
trip,
one.
right? I know. It was kind of funny is that, his album, Trout Mass Replica, is considered a massive cult classic, because it was one of the most strangest records out there. Musicians of his band were just playing all over the place, but yet it made a lot of sense in a lot of ways when you look at it.
Well, it's funny because he kind of emulated Frank Zappa.
Yeah. Frank Zappa was like one of his buddies, and a mentor in a lot of ways. They did an album get together called Bongo Fury. It was a live release.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a pretty good album there. I had it myself. Pretty damn good record there.
I shouldn't be surprised, but I was kind of surprised that you heard of him.
I have, yeah, many times. Heard about him many times. Go the way before I was a teenager there. And I've listened to stuff. I was tempted to buy Trout Mass Replica, but I don't know why I still didn't there. But when I listened to some of the stuff on YouTube, it was like, holy cow, this is some wild stuff there. Give this to the average listener of something like Fall Out Boy, and they'll be like, huh, ooh, ah, hey, huh, just freak them out a little bit there.
Yeah. Next one I got is Jerry Rafferty.
Oh my gosh, that's a big one right there because we know him. He was the guy who wrote and sang Stuck in the Middle with You with his old band Steelers Wheel, and he had a solo career soon afterwards. I had one of his albums, Baker Street, City to City, The Ark. I had that album, City to City, that is. I remember hearing it at one of the classes of my schools there, and then I had to tell my mom, buy that album for me for Christmas, along with Abbey Road. Definitely. And she did.
Cool.
And it was a good record there. It brings back a lot of memories. And Baker Street, I remember, was a massive hit on the radio around that time.
So it was right down the line.
That's true, yeah. That was a big follow-up there.
Liver failure.
Oh, wow. That's sad because he wrote some good songs there.
Yeah. Next one is Gary Moore.
Gary Moore, the Exton Lizzy guitars.
Heart Attack.
He had a solo during the 80s. He had a couple of good songs. He did this massive, powerful version of Shapes of Things, the old Yardbirds tune.
Oh yeah.
And it was a massive version of that album, of that song. And he also had this song called, I forgot the name of it, but I remember hearing the video and seeing the song seeing the video and hearing the song on the old MTV there. And for a while, he had Ian Pace, the Deep Purple drummer, with his backup band there for a while there. He later converted to as a blues guitar player, and he found success in that. And let's not forget, of course, we all know he was the him and the late Phil Lynott back in 1985 did a duet together called Out in the Fields. That was a big hit on the UK radio there.
Yeah.
I think the video's still up there. In fact, in 1987, he released an album called Wild Frontier, which he dedicated in the memory of Phil Lynott. And his song, Over the Hills and Far Away, would later be covered by the band Nightwish. Because I remember my
one of those female-fronted groups.
Yeah, exactly there. I remember Tarja Turin, who was the singer at that time, they covered that song. I told my girl at that time, when she was listening, check out the Gary Moore version. She looked it up. It's like, oh, wow, it is the same song. Wow. Yeah, so, yep. When I first heard the title, that's the first thing came up. Because I remember hearing that song way back in 87 when that record came out.
Yeah. Next guy I got's Rob Grill of the Grassroots. He was their
Hmm.
singer and guitar player.
Um,
Complications caused by stroke.
I see there. Having a stroke is not fun, folks. I should say there. It can fuck you up in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he
Look at
Grassroots was
Tim
a pretty good
Curry.
song.
Yeah. Look at Tim Curry. He's in a wheelchair now. Yelvin has trouble trying to speak.
Yeah,
The actor, man, and it's sad. Very sad. I didn't know he had Tim Curry had a stroke till a long, long while back. I was like, holy shit, what happened there? But you got to be careful. You don't make sure you don't have one, or
right.
don't do anything that would lead to one, because that will fuck you up, man.
Hmm. Next one is
Yeah.
Dan Peake of America.
Uh, he was one of the other members, I guess, right?
I think he was one of the top three of them.
Yeah, because for America, the band was a three-piece unit. When it came back in the mid '80s, there with You Could Do Magic, there was two-piece there.
I think Peake was the one that was gone,
Oh, okay, there.
but I don't know that.
I don't know. I should probably look it up sometime there.
Boy, just call it natural causes, but it's fibroil is a bunch of words.
Oh, yeah. So it's somebody you can't even pronounce, is that correct?
Right.
I am. Remember, a lot of these medical terms we are unable to pronounce. The only one who was able to pronounce was a thing called osteomyelitis. That was about it. Everything else is like, huh? Who can you teach me how to pronounce that? How you spell that? Because these are long ass words.
Next we got Sean Bonnewell, who is the leader of the Music Machine, 60s group. Lung cancer.
And didn't they do the song Talk Talk?
That's the one.
Because Alice Cooper covered that song on his record, Flush to Fashion. I remember hearing that on the radio, and I even had the album itself there. That's another record I like to get on vinyl if that ever is reissued, next to $1 Billion Babies.
Yeah, that they were essentially known as a garage band.
Yeah. And I think we did do a cover. I don't know. Did we ever cover that group when we were doing our Garage Rock series there?
Yeah.
All right.
Because they were one of the leaders.
Yeah.
Next one I got is Larry Reinhardt, used to be with Iron Butterfly.
Wow.
Complications from cirrhosis.
Wow. No, it's just cirrhosis, right?
Right, cirrhosis of the liver.
Okay, because I see there. Makes sense.
Then, golly, come on.
Then?
Sorry, my eyes are doing
It's okay.
funny.
Wow.
Bob Weston of Fleetwood Mac.
And this was the original lineup.
Yeah.
Gastrointestinal. Because remember, Fleetwood Mac was an all-male lineup way back in the 60s.
Intestinal cancers,
gastrointestinal hemorrhage.
Cancer? I see there.
That be natural?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. Remember, Fleetwood Mac
Any death that has to do with like body parts or body organs breaking down is considered natural causes.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate.
I guess so, yeah.
But yeah, he was part of Fleetwood Mac went through several different lineups.
Yes, I know so many people only know the Buckingham Nicks lineup there, or the Rumors lineup, as we often call them. But there was many other members of Fleetwood Mac. One of them, Bob Welch, who committed suicide in 2012. Big sad, because he came up with some damn good songs there, including "Sentimental Lady," which he first recorded with Fleetwood Mac and later on his own with his own albums. French Kiss, an album which I recommend as well.
Next one I got's Ronnie Montrose.
Oh my goodness, he played. He had the band. He was the guy behind the band Montrose with
Right.
Sammy Hagar. Remember the song "Little Bad Motor Scooter" and "Rock Candy." And he also was involved with, I guess, Edgar Winter's band for a while there. Prior to that,
Yeah.
he later had a band, and later on called Gamma. Some of their songs were played on the local radio there. Another one that departed from us, unfortunately. There.
Suicide by gunshot.
Oh my gosh, that's even more
Why he would
shocking.
do that? Like,
Good
was
question. I was
Matt
going to
was he
ask
jealous of
myself.
Sammy getting more success and stuff? Sammy Hagar, like, I mean, what was really? Did they have beefs, him and Sammy, or?
I don't know. For what I understand, from Sammy's point of view, in the interview, he stated that he was the one writing so many songs, and I guess he got booted out for doing that. That's kind of an odd thing, but I'm not too sure. You got to really look it up. Talk to Sammy about the whole thing there if you ever get a chance to ever interview him about that whole situation. But it's kind of, I don't know, but probably the guy came down with a condition that was uncurable, where he was unable to play, kind of like what happened with Keith Emerson. But
Right.
but we do not know. Maybe the guy was feeling way down on his luck and wasn't able to pick himself back up. We may never know.
Next one is John Lord.
From Deep Purple, the organ player, and that was cancer, if I'm correct, right?
No, pulmonary embolism.
Oh, because I heard it was the evil C word there. All right, there. My bad.
What was
All right,
that?
go ahead. Oh, that was my phone there. I was looking something up, and something came up. One of those little pop-up ads coming out there. Blah 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 blah. All that bullshit there.
Scott McKenzie.
Okay, Scott McKenzie, the guy who wrote San Francisco.
Yeah.
This isn't a drama show. Come on.
Okay, I'm not.
What?
Why would you bring up his name?
Scott McKenzie.
Oh,
you bringing up his name, bro? Oh, all right.
no,
Yeah,
it's just a singer. I'm
You
going.
said something else.
Yeah, he was a singer. Yeah, he wrote a song called San Francisco, and there was a big hit in the
Be
60s
sure to wear
there.
flowers in your hair.
That's right. There, if you go to San Francisco, you're going to see a lot of people there. Those are
And
the two opening lyrics.
natural causes. Let's just
Yep.
call it.
All right.
Joe South.
Who wrote this original Hush that Deep Purple covered?
Right. Heart disease or heart failure.
Yeah, he released a couple of records of his own, if I remember, as well.
More
But
than a
he's
couple.
Yeah. In fact, but he's mostly known for that song Hush, which Deep Purple covered on one of their, I guess it was their one of their earlier albums with the Mark I lineup.
Yeah. Actually, it was the very first hit.
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
Right.
not miss anybody important, but I'm trying to skim over the list as fast as I can, too.
All right, go ahead there.
Yeah, going ahead is easier said than done.
Ah.
Oh, Ed Cassidy, Spirit.
Oh, the drummer for the band. He was how old was he when he passed away? 80 or something there?
89.
Wow. Wow, that was
Cancer.
good. Wow. Big Evil C struck again.
Yeah, and it's funny because when Spirit came out, he was
He was the oldest member.
easily, and he was as old as my father then, which was
And
weird because,
And how old was he when Spirit Day made its debut?
I'd have to do some math on that one.
Probably, let's see, about 40 or something like that, I guess.
I think he was in his 40s.
Oh, yeah. And back then, when it was kind of awkward for an old man to be in a band with a bunch of young kids at that time.
Yeah, but one of them was his son-in-law.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense there. So
Randy,
they decided
California.
who also is no longer with us. Makes sense now.
Yeah.
And we know Spirit's song, I Got a Line on You, which was an essential classic there. And
Yeah.
of course, we cannot forget the Alice Cooper version, which I preferred over the original there. Look up the Iron Eagle soundtrack from 1985 there. No, Iron Eagle 2. My bad. Duh.
Next one I got is Lee Dorman, who was a member of Iron Butterfly.
Another member of Iron Butterfly passing away. There's no original members left, I guess, in that group.
I don't think so. Natural causes, though.
Wow. That's sad. Very sad there. Go ahead.
What time is it? Because I've got to 2013.
2013, okay, there, 2013. We could go assume, we could do a little bit on 2013. That's for sure.
A little bit
there.
more because I want to watch. I want to watch the news at 7.
Oh yeah, because of the what's going on with the Russia and the Ukraine, right?
I watch my Tucker and I watch my Hannity.
Oh yeah, I see there. Yeah. By the way, we got to talk about what song is trending right now. I mentioned it earlier on your show, YR, because of the situation with Russia and the Ukraine. I saw it on Twitter, and wouldn't you know, I would not be surprised. War Pigs by Black Sabbath is trending right now on social media. And it was I mentioned in a vlog I did earlier about it. It was also that song was a big trending as well as prior to the first Gulf War happening back in 1990.
Okay, well, we pick up 2013 when we resume, and we can discuss other things right now if you want.
Okay, we could do that if you like. You know, it's like
because it is 2 minutes till
almost
7.
Minutes to 7. Yeah, no. YR said he likes to watch the news, so what's going on there. Understandable. I know the news was on all day when this whole bullshit started out at our place there. I know when I was out earlier, before I went out for the afternoon and came back, my brother-in-law advised me to be careful because there are going to be some possibly crazy motherfuckers that are going to try to nab you for something like that. All that stuff. People are going to go crazy because we got this war over the Ukraine and stuff there, blah, 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 anybody will be like, oh, come on, that's over there. It's not going to happen here. But you never know with some of these goof rags around here.
Nope.
That's true. You could never tell. Geez, if I could be sitting near a gas station trying to call in Kent's program, a bunch of teenage doofuses are going to accuse me of being a predator. You never know.
True.
People out there are a bunch of sick, twisted motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true there. All right, so why are you? Jacob RP is officially gone from your channel for about, what is it, $50, I guess it was? YR?
Yes, we took a payment of $50.
Because I remember seeing that when I was watching.
But listen, everyone's got to keep in mind, like, that might be a low amount. Like, oh, you took in more for other